Welcome back to another episode of Alestletics. I'm Sam Muren, joined with Audrey O'Renic. Audrey, how are you today?
Well, you said, "Are you ready?" and then just started it. So,
She's ready.
That is me then. I am ready. That is my feeling. Ready.
Ready. Well,
how are you feeling?
I'm tired. But
of what? Playing Ready or Not?
No, I'm tired of... Like, I haven't got to watch a lot of sports lately. There's not been much going on, besides baseball, which I like baseball, but not that much.
Well, you want to know what is going on this summer that has to do with...
Wow. Great transition.
Yeah, turn my mic down.
Okay.
So...
I'll just turn it off.
Right. Okay, so... Actually, this summer, in addition to the MLB, the National Beep Ball Association will be having its World Series at SIUE.
Which is crazy. First of all, why don't you explain what the National Beep Baseball Association is?
So that is, Beep Baseball is a modified adaptation of baseball, and it's actually pretty intense and requires a lot of skill, and all your players are blindfolded, and they, except for your pitcher and your catcher, and then there's some spotters, for safety reasons, those people are sighted, but everybody else has some sort of vision loss, but they are all blindfolded to be on the same playing field. It's instead of 3 bases, there's 2 bases, the first and the third, and then obviously your home plate. And the ball is beeping, so when your pitcher throws it to you, you can kind of hear the beeping, and then your catcher's going to tell you to swing. And then once you hit the ball, it's randomly either the first base or the third base. They have tackling dummies, and they will start to vibrate and beep as well. And the player just has to run to whatever base is called and play the game how you normally would. And same thing with the outfielders. They just try to get to the base to catch you. So what the National Beep Ball Association is it's basically the league that hosts all of the blind baseball teams, and these teams range from every corner of the United States. We have a local team in St. Louis called the Gateway Archers, and then we have teams from Colorado, Texas, and then even internationally in Taiwan. Taiwan has a pretty big baseball culture, and what they do is they actually take their best players from their entire country, and it's kind of like they treat it like the Olympics. So they put their best players on a team and then send them out to the United States to compete. So it's pretty prestigious, and it's being played at a great level. Yeah,
that's a pretty unique way to bring in those. So are the players that are playing, are they all visually impaired to some degree, or are they all legally blind? What's the kind of the stipulation on that?
They're missing vision in some sort of degree. They can have complete vision loss. They can have vision through the size of a pinhole. They can have no peripheral vision. Whatever it may be, they're just at some sort of vision loss. But like I said, to play on the same degree, to ensure that it's all fair, they all wear a blindfold.
Gotcha. So yeah, I mean, really, there's each sport kind of has a degree where they have a recreation of the sport to allow those that are visually impaired or have other restrictions from playing the sport that they love. You know, there's kind of like blind football, there's blind hockey, there's all kinds of stuff. So when I read your story when you first published it, I wasn't surprised, but it's something I had never heard of, Beep Baseball, and even the rules are kind of still new to me. So like it's interesting, it's really cool. But to have the World Series here in Edwardsville, kind of talk about the scale of that.
Yeah, so Edwardsville is actually the first non-major city to host the World Series since the 1980s.
Wow, that's crazy.
So like, that puts Edwardsville on the map again. This year, we're just really booming.
Yeah, with athletics, no kidding. I mean, and we'll be talking about that in a little bit, but just the success here in the city, not just for the school, but the city itself.
The city, and just the greater Metro East. There's just a lot of, the sports culture is just really growing and becoming something prominent, which is incredible.
Yeah, for sure. No, I think you're right. I mean, you can look at it in almost every sport category, too. It doesn't matter what it is. It's booming here, and which is great for the state. You know, one thing about sports that, I mean, this is kind of more the money side of it that we don't talk about as much when we're watching the game, but it's great revenue for the college, the community, the local area. So, I mean, to have a World Series, doesn't matter what it is. I mean, if the Cardinals are having a World Series or if it's this right here in the city, I mean, I think that's great for the community.
So last year, the tournament was held in St. Charles, Missouri, and it was just St. Louis. But this year, the location, the venue it's going under some like new ownership stuff. So they weren't allowed to play there. So they needed to figure out where to play. So in January, the host organization started reaching out and they secured a spot at SIUE on the Glen Carbon soccer fields. So not the nice stadium that we have, but all those fields back there by the baseball. No.
It's near softball. It's in between softball and baseball. Yeah. So, but that's where they're playing.
So now that's where they're playing. They are actually playing on campus as SIUE World Series. You know, like I said, players from Taiwan, like every corner of the United States, everybody is going to be here.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. Well, not to mention that there's a local team, too, that you mentioned earlier.
Yeah. So the Gateway Archers started up about, I want to say 5 years ago. One of their players I actually talked to, his name is Demetrius Morrow. He found out about beat baseball when he went to the Colorado Center of the Blind, and his roommate actually introduced him into beat baseball. And he is from St. Louis. So when he started losing vision at around age 14 in St. Louis, and then by the time he was 18, he went to Colorado for that institution. And while he was there, he grew up loving sports, and sports was one of the things that really gave him joy. And when he was losing vision, he thought that he wouldn't ever be able to play sports again. So being able to find out about baseball and be on the Gateway Archers team and, find a community that's still there, he said that it just gave him life again.
Yeah, it's a really awesome story. And just in general, for real, it's just unique to have it here. I think it's something people should really check out. And well, is there anything else that people can do to support the cause while it's here?
Okay, so while it is here, well, I first want to say real fast, the host organization is Blind's Eye in Belleville, and I actually used to volunteer there, and they read grocery store ads, they read literally anything, newspapers, anything, and it's broadcasted on a radio for blind people to listen to.
I've heard of it. Yeah, it's a pretty cool program.
So they are hosting here, and what makes this organization unique is because when the NBBA is making, finding venues and finding host organizations for the World Series, they always make it with like the city or like the government, or you know what I mean? But this is the first time that they're actually connecting with an organization that is meant for blind people and is meant to support blind people.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, obviously, any state or government kind of likes to jump on that because it helps people, obviously, and it looks good for the state and all that. But to hear that it's coming from an organization that supports individuals that need vision help or aid, that's really awesome for them.
And with this organization, they are able to connect the NBBA to the MLB. And, there's a disconnect there because they're two kind of different ball games.
Yeah.
I hate to say that.
But they are.
But it is.
Yeah.
But, what happens is they have the NBBA players, they will go out and they will watch Cardinals games, and they will have somebody like somebody who's sitting next to them and kind of like telling them how the game.
Like a personal commentator.
Like a commentator. But it's not just like your normal play-by-play. It's things that people take for granted. So it's like the mascot is doing a dance, or this person's shirt went off, or you know what I mean?
It reminds me when I met the Cardinals play-by-play announcer for radio. But the thing about he talked about was you're telling a story, like people that are listening on the radio for actually can't see the game, so you have to portray this visual image to them. And it's like it's very difficult for radio people, but that's like what they need and what they get. That's really cool.
And then coming this year, some of these Cardinal players are actually coming to SIUE to watch the NBBA World Series,
which is pretty cool.
The connection, I think, is just beautiful. So the way that we can get involved as students is they are taking volunteers. They need like 90 people a day. And it's a great way to, come out and support your community and also watch Beat Baseball, because I guarantee you none of you have seen a game of Beat Baseball. And trust me, you will want to see a game of Beat Baseball.
Well, not to mention just any game. This is the World Series.
Sorry, I got excited. This is the World Series, y'all. World Series.
Like, the Cardinals ain't going there anytime soon. You might as well get out. You're in the area.
You're like, yeah.
And if you're from the Chicago area, you might as well drive down, because your teams aren't going there either. It's worth it. It really is. It's just such a wonderful event that's being put on by the community, by the sponsors of it, and the organizations. It seems really cool, and you can definitely read all about the other details with the interviews you did with the people at alestlelive.com. Like, check it out on the sports section. But no, it was really great. When I thought, like, as soon as you brought it up, like, we had to talk about it.
Yeah.
It's too feel good not to. But we have some other feel good stuff to talk about, isn't that right, Audrey? And that, if you didn't see, like I saw the other day. Now, I will admit, the only reason I saw this is because it was like highlights of Shane Gillis' stand-up. But they had the ESPYs on TV yesterday, which is basically ESPN's award ceremony. It's like their Grammys or whatever, but through ESPN. So kind of exciting. They give all these athletes their awards for best player of each sport and all that. But I thought it would be fun to do an SIUE ESPY between Audrey and I as the nominators, I guess. I don't know. We're ESPN today, basically.
I got nothing to say to that, Sam.
You got nothing for that? Okay, well.
Let's just continue.
I will give you a category, and it's not a very complex category, but it's straightforward. And then we will both kind of give our answers and talk about it.
Okay,
so,
perfect.
Let's start off with Athlete of the Year. Who is your SIUE Athlete of the Year?
Man, I hate to do it. It's Rayshawn Taylor.
Yeah, I know.
Can't even, as much as I can't. It's him.
You know what? There is some, exciting players, I think, but it's definitely, there's...
The player of the year. He transformed SIUE basketball, I fear.
I fear. Oh, man, such a shame. We just had this great athlete on our team. No, I agree. That's who I had as well. Bro. I do have some shockers on my list, I think, that you'll be surprised of, but...
shockers?
But he was not one, he's just,
that was a given.
That was kind of a given, but it's important because he was he won the male athlete of the year in male basketball athlete of the year?
It's men's basketball.
Men's basketball.
Male basketball.
Yes, he won that.
Yes, guys.
He did. So, it was kind of a giveaway. But our next topic, or category, I should say, is Rookie of the Year. Now, by rookie, I don't mean freshman necessarily, just their first year with SIUE. Who is your Rookie of the Year?
See, I think you were going to choose Arwood, and so I didn't want to choose Arwood. Mm-hmm. So I went with Tegan Sullivan, who is on the women's track and field team. At the OVC Awards, she is the only one who brought home a first place.
Yeah.
And she is actually a freshman. She is a newcomer and a freshman.
There you go.
But she actually was the only one who brought home a first from the women's side. So I think, leaving the year off on a note like that, she has a lot of potential in the future.
Yeah, I agree. And I did consider Avery Arwood. I'd say she'd be my runner-up, and maybe even runner-up to her, too, because that's very impressive. But I didn't bend the rules because I made the rules technically.
Bruh.
But I bent the rules, and he's not a freshman. And but he is definitely the Rookie of the Year, and it was Rob Jala. He has to be the Rookie of the Year. For sure. I know he's graduated now, but 1 year with SIUE, he tied Sam Gomez for OVC player or goalkeeper of the week with 6 times during the season, led the team back to the NCAA tournament in back-to-back years and OVC championships that add that on. First of all, I think the reason he's better than the other two, in my opinion, is just because he's filling big shoes. Sam Gomez's departure was can they fill it? And he stepped in and did a great job in 1 year. So that's to me why he is the quote-unquote Rookie of the Year. Rookie.
He's a graduate student, bro.
I know.
You can't do that.
But he's 1 year. Okay, 1 year. Whatever. First year. So, all right, next we have Coach of the Year. Who is your Coach of the Year for SIUE?
Baroni. All of the ones that are I feel like all the coaches did some pretty good work this year. I feel like most of the coaches put a lot of good work in this year, so it was pretty hard. So, Baroni, Wasserman,
Yeah. No, I am in agreement that they did a great job. I think to me, the one I should have picked Baroni because maybe the expectation wasn't there for SIUE at the start of the year, and they kind of defied those expectations. But my pick is different. I picked Sean Lyons, the head coach of the baseball team, not because that baseball did dramatically better. It wasn't like they went, they were a top team. They went to the NCAA. It was more that they were kind of felt like a subpar average team, and they turned into truth though. They the year prior they just I don't know, it wasn't hitting and it wasn't clicking with the team, but they put together a really good roster. I feel like not just for this year but for years to come, and they got second place against a really good EIU team that I think is just dominating right now in OVC baseball and softball really. But yeah, I think Sean Lyons did a great job with what he put together in his lineup every night. He gave the team a chance to win every night, and it showed in their results, Yeah, so my pick was Sean Lyons. So next we have, this is one category, but there's a specific team and also a specific player, and this is the best bounce back season. Which team had the best bounce back season?
Softball.
I agree. Softball definitely had the
Okay,
best.
good. This is like a family feud. I'm like trying to get the same answer you do.
Kind of, but okay, what about the player? Best bounce back player.
I didn't do this question. I just didn't do it. What did you pick?
I picked KK Rodriguez.
Oh, man, I should have. No, I changed my answer.
No.
Can you re-edit this? So I do.
No.
Oh, I choose KK Rodriguez. Who do you choose?
I already chose KK Rodriguez.
Yeah, so why I chose her, she was injured for.
Yeah, this is
no,
all
you got
standard.
it.
Yeah, the reason I chose her is because obviously she's been with the team for a very long time, and the fact that she went through some significant injuries throughout those years here, but the most recent one that took her out a lot last season and into the start of this season, really. The fact that she was able to come back, play her senior year, help guide a young team that's struggling, and when she came back, she made an impact. You could see the point totals of the team went up. The wins increased marginally, but they went up when she was playing in the starting position. So I definitely think that KK Rodriguez is the comeback player of the year based on injury results and returning to play, for sure. That she's my dead giveaway.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, Audrey's too. She definitely didn't skip that question.
Right.
All right, what about your most successful team? Now, again, this is kind of easy.
Men's basketball.
I agree. Now, if you want to talk about, because we're just basing it on this year for
Correct.
this, for this, so it's like
it has to. It's like March Madness. Are you kidding?
Yeah, for real. It just puts your team on the. I feel like that's the crummy thing about soccer. Like if soccer was a bigger March Madness and men's basketball alone is just huge in the country, But if men's soccer was like in that same spotlight, I mean, SIUE soccer would have some.
Yeah, but listen.
Right, but it's
they
not
never
that...
get past the first round, and they've done it 3 times.
Right,
or 2 times.
That's the roadblock.
They're about to do it 3.
They might do it 3. They better make it past, dude. They better. Okay, I will say in SIUE soccer's defense, they've had some odd things that happened to them in the tournament, though, like with their goaltender getting injured in warm-ups and with the red card.
I guess.
But you're right. No, I agree with you. I totally had men's basketball. I think, they, like you said, they kind of put it on the map and just took it away. It's kind of a shame because there were some other teams and individuals that did great, and they kind of get buried below that. Like I know wrestling had some individuals that did really well. Obviously some of the women's players on like softball, tennis had some really good ones, and like you mentioned, it was cross country and track like that. Yeah, but no, I definitely agree that there was individuals on all kinds of teams that had really good seasons for themselves, but the team as a whole just kind of buried them, and rightfully so. March Madness,
Yeah.
Okay, this next one is kind of fun. And best interviewee. Who's your favorite athlete to have interviewed?
Shuey!
I also had Shuey.
Shuey! Somebody clip this and send it to her.
Yeah, Daniela Shuey was great. She was just so lively,
She's a big ball of sunshine.
She really is. And I think that was like I will say everyone we've had on the show has been pretty fun to at least talk to on and off air, Just they're nice people. But Shuey was like, didn't matter if you had a microphone in front of her or if you were talking to her one-on-one. She was just excited to be there, But yeah, and then I saw her at one of like the last baseball games, and so she was like, I recognize you. Hey. And I was like, oh, high, for sure. I also had SIUE. Okay, now just a media perspective. This is not athletics, SIUE athletics related. Who is your favorite OVC team that SIUE plays against?
I mean, I would say SEMO, just because they put up a tough fight, and they've done it for multiple people, not only men's basketball, but for other sports as well. I know tennis, I think, went against SEMO in their final. So they definitely put up a tough fight and give us a good game to watch.
For sure. No, I also had SEMO down, partly for the reason that you said of like, if you looked at like the which out of school championships this year, SIUE had 3 school championships and SEMO had like 6. So you can tell. But really, we were tied for 3rd or something, or 4th, whatever it was. But no, I completely agree with you. SEMO's a tough competition. I also like them. I got to visit the school.
Get out.
Well, no, I visited and
SEMO's gonna go to SEMO, guys.
No,
I lied.
No, I really wasn't. But it was fun to see that they're in our conference and watch them play. Okay, now who's your least favorite OVC?
EIU, because they suck and they're mean to softball and they're mean to baseball and I don't like them.
How did we have the same team?
I almost fell off the chair.
Audrey really doesn't like EIU.
What'd you say?
Yeah, I also had EIU. Kind of, I didn't know that they were mean, really.
Oh, they're not mean.
They just beat us. Okay, so you have a little bit of recency bias, I feel like, to them.
What even is that word?
It's like where like the recent events are like influencing your.
Yes, recency bias. I'm writing that down.
Okay.
Yes.
So okay, now I agree with you on EIU, but I like for the fact that they're good. Like I think it's a good rivalry I wish it would become a rivalry, because it's like they're just a really good sports school. It's a kind of just admission. I think they were up there with the championships soon, OVC as well. So it's like I love to watch our school do good against good schools, so SEMO, EIU. But EIU, I don't know, they just kind of, I just like to hate on them a little more. Little more than SEMO, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it was
just
like
a little bit more.
Yeah, just a little bit more. But no, it's all in good fun. Like they're always good games, like you said. That's my favorite thing is when it's a tight, competitive game. It makes for entertaining.
But when
sports.
They lose, then I hate them.
Yeah, definitely. No, like, I couldn't agree more.
Recency bias.
Yeah, recency bias. Well, it's also like, then I gotta write a sad story,
And then nobody's gonna talk to you.
Yeah. It's like, we got beat by one of the best schools in the conference. Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that I enjoy those games. Like, if I had to pick one, I'd go to those. I think a runner-up for, like, least favorite would probably be, like, oh my gosh,
the Screaming Eagles?
Yes.
Indiana State University?
Yes,
or...
Indiana State University, the Screaming Eagles. I don't know why. They just kind of bother me.
They just bother me. Bro just hates Indiana.
No, it's like they're just mean. They look like they're actually...
No, Little Rock is mean.
Is Little Rock mean? I don't know.
In basketball, they look mean.
I don't know. I think Indiana's worse.
What is
this is all speculation.
None of this is real, by the way. This is all AI.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But I don't know. I feel like when we played them in basketball, they had more fouls against us, or maybe they made us take more fouls.
He just feels like they had more fouls, though.
I
he doesn't know if they actually
did. I don't have stats to back that up.
He's just guessing.
I am, but I don't know. They just seem mean. Maybe I think it was the women's game I went to. They like destroyed us or something, and they just kind of like.
You're just intimidated by women?
No, they were just like snarky about it. They were like like the way they carried themselves.
Yeah,
on the court.
we won. What about you?
Yeah, exactly, just like that. No, that was perfect. You could play on Indiana State.
Okay, we're done.
All right, well, that's all for this week's episode of Alestletics. Thanks for joining us to talk about Beep Baseball and Sam and Audrey's ESPYs selections for SIUE. Feel free to join us back. This is the second to last edition of the summer. We have one more after this, so we will be back in about 3 weeks. But you can tune into Alestle After Hours in 2 weeks to fill your time while you wait for this next episode. And check us out on our X and check out Alestle After Hours on Instagram. And we will see you again soon. Bye.
Bye.